Books and Breakfast. My name is Anne, and I work with Dewey Elementary School. So right now I'm home in Oxford, Mississippi, and I miss you all very, very much, but I'm really excited to share with you one of my favorite books. So one of my favorite books when I was little is called Lilly's Big Day. It's by Kevin Henkes. He writes a lot of really good books. So I'm going to share this with you all. So let's see what Lilly is up to. One day, Lilly's teacher, Mr. Slinger, announced to the class that he was going to marry Miss Shotwell, the school nurse. Lilly's heart leaped. She had always wanted to be a flower girl. "It will be the biggest day of my life," said Mr. Slinger. "Mine too," whispered Lilly. At home in her room, Lilly practiced being a flower girl. First, she changed into something more appropriate, and she held her head high and smiled brightly and raised her eyebrows and turned her head from side to side and carried her hands proudly in front of her and hummed "Here Comes the Bride" and walked the length of her room very, very slowly, back and forth, back and forth. "It will be the biggest day of my life," said Lilly. And look at her red cowboy boots. I always wanted red cowboy boots. "Who are you pretending to be tonight?" asked Lilly's mother at dinner. "I'm not pretending," said Lilly. "I'm a flower girl." "Who's getting married?" asked her father. "Mr. Slinger," said Lilly. "Really?" said her mother. "Really?" said her father. "Really," said Lilly. "He's going to marry Miss Shotwell. He told us today, and I'm going to be the flower girl." "You are?" asked her father. "Did Mr. Slinger ask you?" said her mother. "Not yet," said Lilly. She seems pretty confident. At bedtime, Lilly's mother said, "Lilly, there's so many students in your class. Mr. Slinger couldn't possibly pick just one to be a flower girl." Her father said it wouldn't be fair. "He probably has a niece," said his mother. "Maybe Aunt Mona will get married someday," said her father. "Do you understand what we're trying to say?" asked her mother. Lilly nodded. "Are you sure?" asked her father. Lilly nodded again. After her parents left her room, Lilly said, "I understand that I am going to be a flower girl." The next day at school, during sharing time, Lilly said, "I've always wanted to be a flower girl, even more than a surgeon or a diva or a hairdresser." The following afternoon, when Mr. Slinger had recess duty, Lilly picked up a handful of weeds at the edge of the playground. She carried the weeds proudly in front of her and walked very, very slowly past Mr. Slinger until the bell rang. Back and forth, back and forth. She is showing off her flower girl skills. On the morning after that, Lilly went to the light bulb lab in the back of the classroom. She drew a self-portrait. It's called "Me, Lilly, the world's best and most famous flower girl." That is quite a self-portrait. "This is the best drawing I've ever done in my entire life," said Lilly. It's pretty good. Mr. Slinger called Lilly up to his desk during quiet reading time. "Lilly," he said, "I can tell that you want to be a flower girl, but unfortunately my niece, Ginger, is going to be the flower girl at my wedding." Lilly's heart sank. "But," said Mr. Slinger, "I also want you to know that everyone in the class will be invited to the wedding. We can all dance together at the reception. It'll be fun." Lilly's stomach hurt. "This seems really important to you," said Mr. Slinger. Lilly's cheeks turned pink. Poor Lilly. "You know," said Mr. Slinger, "I was just thinking you might like to be Ginger's assistant. You could stand with her and keep her company until she has to walk down the aisle. You can make sure her dress isn't crooked and that she holds the flowers properly." Lilly considered this. You could remind her to walk slowly, said Mr. Slinger. Lily considered some more. You could wear a corsage, said Mr. Slinger. Oh, all right, said Lily, if you really need me so much. How nice of Lily. She's really stepping up. Lily tried to get excited about being Ginger's assistant. Weddings wouldn't even exist without Flower Girl's assistance, she told her brother, Julius. Look at her brother. I have a special responsibility, she told her parents. When her granny took her shopping for a new dress for the wedding, Lily told the clerk, a Flower Girl assistant is very important and glamorous. And Lily looks pretty glamorous, doesn't she, with her crown and her sunglasses. But when it really sank in that she would not be walking down the aisle carrying a bouquet with everyone watching, Lily pretended that her teddy bear was Mr. Slinger. She made him sit in the uncooperative chair. You can just stay there forever. Look at her teddy bear. That does look a little bit like her teacher. As the wedding drew near, Mr. Slinger counted the days on the chalkboard. 1 day closer to the biggest day of my life, he would say. 1 day closer to the biggest day of Ginger's life, Lily would whisper. And still, at home in her room, Lily practiced. She held her head high. She smiled brightly and raised her eyebrows and turned her head from side to side and carried her hands proudly in front of her and hummed Here Comes the Bride and walked the length of her room very, very slowly. Back and forth and back and forth. And there are her fabulous cowboy boots again. The day of the wedding finally arrived. Lily hoped and hoped that Ginger would have pink eye or a bad fever and not show up. But she was there. And she was all ready. Her dress was straight and she held her flowers properly. Poor Lily, she didn't have anything to do. Are you sure you want to do this? Said Lily. Yes, said Ginger. Are you sure you're sure? Yes. Are you really sure you're sure? Lily hoped and hoped that Ginger would change her mind, but she didn't. It was time for the ceremony to begin. The music swelled, everyone stood. The moment came for Ginger to walk down the aisle, but Ginger didn't move. Mr. Slinger motioned her forward. Go, said Lily, but Ginger was frozen. Now, said Lily. Ginger was as still as a stone. You can do it, said Lily, but Ginger couldn't. Everyone waited and waited and waited. No one knew what to do. Except Lily. Look at poor Ginger. And thank goodness she has Lily as an assistant. Let's see what Lily's going to help. Lily scooped up Ginger and said, Here we go. Then Lily walked very, very slowly down the aisle. She held her head high and smiled brightly and raised her eyebrows and turned her head from side to side and carried Ginger proudly in front of her. So she's carrying Ginger the whole way. Thank goodness she did all that practicing. When she reached Mr. Slinger, everyone clapped. I knew this would be the biggest day of my life, said Lily. Lily was so excited she barely noticed the rest of the ceremony. This is Lily's big day, after all. The reception was great fun. After the cake was served, Lily coached Ginger for the next time she would be a flower girl. I won't be with you at every wedding, said Lily, and I won't be able to save you every time. Together they walked back and forth, very slowly. Keep watching, keep watching. Soon they were dancing. That looks really fun. And soon after that, they were joined by Chester, Wilson, Victor, Julius, Mr. Slinger, Mrs. Shotwell, and many others. It's interpretive dance, said Mr. Slinger. We're doing the Flower Girl, said Lilly. Look at their dance moves. Lily's family stayed at the reception until Lilly was perfectly exhausted. But there's something I have to do before we go, said Lilly. She needed to find Ginger one last time. And when she did, she said, Ginger, when I get married, you can be my flower girl. So, that is one of my favorite books, and I hope you all liked it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you all soon. Bye.